There we go.
Yeah, all good.
There we go.
All right, beautiful. Just said we lost connection on my end. Fuck it, we're just gonna fucking go with it.
Yeah, sounds good to me on my side.
Oh, whatever. Regardless, either way, people will get a nice show if that. But regardless, man, how you fucking doing? It's been a minute.
I'm doing great. Doing great, man.
All
You've
right.
been busy as hell. Uh, Busy all year so far.
Yeah. You're telling me. All right. So, kind of give a little rundown before we get started here. I don't know if you remember, but I think the topic that we were going to talk about today was talking about the idea of like double standards and kind of like both the bullshit that both men and women kind of deal with, maybe on a different level, and maybe addressing some of the same, and then maybe it's even some examples on trying to think maybe ideas of like that we can solve this problem, maybe, or
When
at
you
least address it, maybe at least help it in some way, shape, or
sure. When you say double standards, I mean like what are you talking about exactly?
so. Um, like things that maybe are expected of men that women don't really put up with, and vice versa, and things like that. So I mean, so a perfect example is I had seen a video talking about it started off with women saying no means no during sex, right? And no means no. But
Sure.
then a dude went around the beach and started interviewing women, asking, "Hey, is a guy allowed to deny sex?" And every single
Yes.
person he went and interviewed, they're like, "No, is he gay? If I want it, I'll take it."
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that video. That is a big double standard, isn't it?
But here's the thing: it's fucking true though.
Hmm.
Like, hey, have you denied a woman sex before?
Yes, but only
See,
because I was super tired. Yeah.
I was gonna say you hesitated, so you're like, nah.
Well, I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, sometimes, I can understand like sometimes like you're just not up for it, right? Like I'm not going to perform. I'm fucking exhausted, and so I'm going to say no to this.
Right,
Guys are sort of expected to always be ready, right? Because
right.
guys are hornballs, right? So we should always be on the ready and ready to go and at a
But
moment's
it's funny
notice.
though. Right, no, absolutely. But I mean, we can even look at this in like two different directions, right? One, I feel like women also fail to realize sometimes that we actually have to make sure there are mechanical functions that are ready for this. Like, we have to make sure hormones are okay, hydration's okay, everything. There's a lot of things that go into play to even make sure our shit even works. And on top of that, I'm trying to think because I would deny, so like you, if I wasn't in the mood. Um, Something I've learned to do though is if she's not acting the way I want, right,
Okay.
accordingly, and I don't mean that like you have to do what I say, meaning she's giving me attitude for no reason. She's basically just being pissy,
Yeah.
but for no reason. Obviously, if I did something stupid and she's pissy, I get it. But that whole attitude thing is like, no. If we got into a major fight and you're saying a whole bunch of shit to me or whatever, and then you want like that makeup sex, or now all of a sudden you want to say you're horny or lonely and want to invite me over or whatever, no,
Hmm.
no.
Yeah,
Why?
that's a pass.
You got like a lot of women like to say, oh, you have to earn this, right? You have to earn it. I'm not just giving it away for free. I mean, that's respectable. I don't care if you don't want to give it away. You don't have to give it away. It makes no difference to me.
Hmm.
But it should work both ways. No, you have to earn this. You can't just treat me like shit and expect me to want to be able to, dick you down accordingly. I was honestly really afraid to say that because I don't know if TikTok will flag. They'd be like,
You
the,
said the D word,
you
the
said
double
a
D.
private part.
Yeah, I think men should be smart about it, and they shouldn't give it away. Like you know Chuck, right? Chuck Kohout.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad. He keeps reaching out to me, and
Yeah.
he reached out to me when my life got flipped upside down. So I need to get back in touch with him.
Well, one of the things that he said, his dad gave him a box of condoms, I think when he was like 16 or something, and
Oh,
says,
jeez.
men are the prize, make them earn it, don't just give it away. And like that was like his journey. And I feel like that's a smart way for men to live, because I think men let themselves be doormats, and women walk all over them so that they can get a piece. And it's not a very smart way to live life.
Well, right. I mean, you've talked about this before too. It's like, was it 90 or 80% of women only go for the top 20% or 10% of men? Meanwhile, it's basically reversed for guys. So it's like guys are constantly trying and trying and trying in hopes
Mm-hmm.
that they get something. Why? Why? That's
Why
not only
why are they trying? Or
well, right. Why are you trying so hard in a sense? Because
mm-hmm.
that's where we get the idea of like the nice guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole mentality of the nice guy. I don't know why they got drilled so hard into. I don't think it's necessarily your generation, but it's definitely, I think, a part of my generation of like the asshole versus the simps, I guess, because that
Mm-hmm.
really broke off trending. They really failed to understand that being the nice guy in that mentality means you don't have any respect for yourself.
Yeah, it
So,
comes down to covert contracts, right?
right,
Where you're like, I'm doing this nice thing because I'm expecting, some tail later. It's not because you're genuinely doing something nice,
well,
and
I mean,
that's where,
don't get me wrong. There are genuine
yeah,
people out there. You can do a nice thing for someone and not want to stick your dick in them.
sure, sure. But I mean, like what I mean by that though is, that's why like I always talk about having, or I talk about in my videos, that men can be good guys, but they can never be the nice guy, right? Like you
Yes.
can be a gentleman. You don't have to treat a woman like dirt, but you also need to have boundaries, and stand up for yourself, and also make your needs known. And I think that's a problem with nice guys is they'll like a girl will say, "Hey, yeah, let me come over to your house at 3 in the morning," and then the nice guy will be like, "Well, I don't want to make a move because I don't want her to think that all I want is sex, so they'll just cuddle with her all night, right?" And then in the morning, the woman's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Like, why did I come over here at 3 in the morning?" Yeah, it's like a guy he could be a gentleman, recognize what she's really coming over for, and go for what he actually needs, and not be apologetic for it. But he doesn't have to be a dick about it.
Well, right. And even moving a little bit further, though, it's like talk, whatever, nice guy, friend zone. And she's asking you to do something that's even outside your schedule. Like instead of you coming over, or sorry, her coming over at like 3 a.m., she's
Yeah,
asking you to go pick up dinner, whatever, stop by at 2, 3 a.m. when you're supposed to be sleeping because you got work at 7, but you might hope you get something. So then you do all this extra stuff. You're just like, okay, thank you. Next day, she's screwing her ex. And you're over there like, what
yeah,
did I do all that for?
right. Yeah, yes, yeah. Simps will definitely do that. They'll bend over backwards, and just to get a glimpse, and that's yeah. Whereas I feel like a smart guy that has options will be like, no, I'm good. I'll see you on
Right,
Wednesday. Yeah.
right. And honestly, you can't blame them. You can't. Because like
No.
the point I was getting at earlier was like majority of the guys can't get majority of the women. So that's why they'll constantly do all these things in hopes they can probably break that. I've been there, so I can't knock them. So the mother of
Sure.
my child, right, when I was going out with her, and I had no business doing so, I bent over backwards for this woman, dude. She tried to tell me that she didn't have any food, whatever, that she was just hungry. I'm like, okay, baby, don't worry, I got you. Made her 5 pounds of pasta and drove it over there at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I just dropped it
Yeah.
off because she was fucking my best friend. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We got have a simp off some other time, bro. I got stories. Yeah.
But we live and we learn, though. That's the thing.
Yes.
Correct. So, I mean, so moving on away from just catering in that sense,
Hmm.
it's, I'm trying to think just some other things that, we kind of battle back and forth. I mean, we can dive into like, even like the expression of emotion and feelings and stuff. So, like, the whole idea of like, we're supposed to sit there and listen, which there's no problem with that. We
Yeah.
more than happy to listen, especially if you're more genuine about it. You're not just listening to get into her pants. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
story. But it's the idea of like, listen, listen, listen. Everyone caters and make sure they're okay. The whole world then, their mother will go to a crying woman, but everyone sees a crying man, and it's like, you're not shot, dude. Like, why? What's going
Yeah.
on? That's
Yeah.
it.
Man up. Man up. Yeah.
It's
That is an unfortunate double standard. I don't know if there's ever going to be a resolution for it. One thing that I I see, I used to be that guy, right? That if I was in a committed relationship with a woman, I was like, oh, she needs to be there for me, you know. And if I'm going through tough times, like I want to be able to come to her with stuff, right? And I feel like a lot of guys feel that way, and maybe that's the way it should be. It's just not the way it is, and I think that comes from evolutionary psychology and biology,
right.
you know. So
Yes,
yeah, so it's like when you learn that, you just need to sort of go, okay, fine. She's not my therapist. She's not my mom. I have guy friends for that, or I could actually get an actual therapist for that. And then, like, men need a way that they can, you know, they need an outlet for their emotions. It just shouldn't be their female partner, you know.
right. And before you get all the Karens like hating you in the comments, because I already see I already see them
Oh,
pulling.
yeah.
It's it's not all the women. You're choosing the wrong woman.
Yeah. I'm not like that. Oh, it's not all women. Yeah.
So when this for everyone watching, when we're saying these things, we have to look at one the statistics, but two the majority. Right, we're looking at the overall blanket generalization. Now, if you're not that kind of woman, awesome, kudos to you. That's fantastic. Good job. Um, you're an outlier. So, in looking at actual statistics, you cut off the ends. You cut off both extremes, and you look at the generalization, the majority. So, even looking at that, I'm trying to think, how do I want to word this? Yes, you should be able to come to your woman with some things, right? Because you need to be able to have that comfort. So if she's asking you whatever, or if you're truly having a hard day, she needs to know what's going on so that she's not sitting there wondering, why are you being an asshole? Why are you talking to me? Whatever.
Hmm.
Communicate that, the serious things. Because a woman doesn't want to have you sit there and bitch and complain about everything. I made a video about that and I actually got slandered for it.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
yeah. I made videos about that too.
because, right, because people don't know the masculine and feminine energies. So you're
Mhm.
absolutely right in the sense of like, you need, I won't say therapist, but you need that guy time because
Mhm.
guys know what guys go through. So you can sit there and you can literally just whatever. And I hate the fact that we have to be like this, but women like security in the relationship. And if you are too emotional, if you're too overbearing, they it's almost from what I've heard, especially it's off-putting. And again,
Yeah, what I
two,
feel like I feel like women want to be there for their man like that. They want
yes,
to be like, yeah, I want him to come to me with this stuff. But if you consistently do it, they're like, man,
yes,
like he's supposed to be my rock, right? And so
right,
so I feel like if a man does, if you have to bring your problems to your woman, you should also come at it from a point with, this is my problem I'm going through, but it's okay because I got a solution for it. This is my plan
right.
going forward, and they'll respect you more for it.
Well, right, right. And again, general stories, general terms, whatever. If your freaking dad died, your brother died in an accident, whatever, and you that's a serious thing, and you just cry, whatever, you're going through it, we're
Hmm.
fucking you, and that is completely understandable.
Yeah, I
Like
would
that
agree
is
with
just
that.
a tragedy at that, right? What we're talking about here is everyday life, going through the motions. still chasing your purpose, chasing your goals, whatever. Those extreme things, dude, what do you want me to do? What do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know for a fact, if anything were to happen to like my son, especially, yeah, I'm going to be gone for about a minute.
Sure.
Um, but everything I preach and like my coaching calls, especially, you need that guide time, but you need quality guide time. I'll sit there and I'll nitpick because guys will go, oh, I have my group of friends, right? What do you do? Oh, we sit there and we game. We go out and we have drinks. How is that benefiting you?
Yeah, just I mean, I can see it as a benefit because it's like an outlet, maybe. But if
But
you have
not
something
every
legit
time.
going on, yeah. But if you have like a legit problem, like you need someone that you can talk to, be like, hey man, like I got this problem going on in my life. What do you think? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Because we'll be able to relate on that level of like, I've been through that. I think only three people in my entire life has ever seen me shed a tear. Not even gonna lie.
Hmm.
So, and I think two of them actually are the reason for it. So, I mean, that makes sense,
Yeah.
regardless. But yeah, no, that's a serious, heavy topic, and I think that's a big reason why men fall into these depressions because they don't really know how to handle those emotions.
Hmm.
They try to go to the one person they think they can go to, but I feel like they don't know how to go about it the right way, and that creates a disconnect. They can go fight, it gets tossed around in the air, and then they just get left broken and empty. So I think that's a huge issue that these guys aren't learning as they're coming into manhood. And that even carries over into like marriage and stuff too, where we really get fucked. And then you
Hmm.
can't even deny that. Not at all.
That we get screwed in marriage.
Oh yeah. Not in marriage. Heaven
At the
forbid if it
divorce.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No,
Yes.
I'm not
I
anti-marriage.
am in
I'm not.
full agreement. Yeah.
Right. Heaven forbid if it ever ends. Which
Hmm.
lately, what is it still 50% or is it getting higher
I
now?
think that's what everyone says. 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and 75% of second marriages end in divorce. And I
Unbelievable.
usually, I really attribute that second one thing because you didn't learn your lesson the first time around. You didn't do anything to make yourself better, and you just jumped into the next relationship. That's what I think is the reason for that high number in the second marriage.
Really, my mother, perfect example. Woman has three kids, three baby daddies, went around whatever when I was a child, got married, 10 years, divorced, met her next husband in AA. Great place to meet somebody.
I bet. Yeah.
Five,
No red flags there. No red flags there at all. Yeah.
she was a recovering opiate or pill user and alcoholic, and her now ex-husband was a recovering cocaine and heroin addict. Logic, people, like, come on. That ended, I think, in 6 years, and I think she hasn't been single since.
Mm.
It's like
There's there's
you
people
can't.
that yeah, they feel like they need someone to fill a void for them, and they never take the time to heal and realize that like happiness comes from within, and that they don't need anybody to fill that void. Like people like your relationship should be a complement to your life. It shouldn't be the meaning of your life, you know.
No, no, absolutely. And I know I got a lot of hate for. I think that's my number one pin video or something like that. Is the focusing on your purpose and not your woman in your life. And
Yeah.
holy shit, was that was bad.
Really? Did you get more hate from women on that or men on that?
No, dude, that was the funny part. That I don't know why these guys kept going. Is majority of the women agreed, and they even said, "Ladies, this
Yeah.
goes for you too." But all the guys, I kid you not, were like, no, my wood is my center, my family's my center, and I will never this, that, or the other. And there was a couple of guys that are like, dude, what the fuck? I can't tell you how many comments I got that said, who hurt you? Or tell me, you got whatever in the DMs.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we
It's
got a someone hurts you in the comment too already. So
But it's because we're literally ingrained in that, like just growing up, right? Men are supposed to, go through school, whatever, learn how to toughen up, go to college, get a career, find a wife, have kids, house, the whole nine, retire, die. Like that has been ingrained as our whole purpose.
Hmm.
That we never chased our dreams, not unless we somehow get picked up out of college for the NFL or something. Then that really changes everything. But it's a rarity. So, yeah, no, I want your opinion on this, right? Because I was kind of thinking, do you know the statistic of the amount of women? I don't know if there's an age group that are on some sort of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medicine.
Oh man, you know what?
It's high.
I
It's
just
high. It's like 70% or something, or 40.
Yeah, I just read a book called The Book of Numbers by a guy named Aaron
Yeah.
Clary. And I just
Okay.
had Aaron Clary on my podcast actually.
I
Smart
saw
dude.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about it in his book. I can't remember what the statistic is, but it is a ridiculous amount of it. I mean, there's a lot of men on antidepressants too, but I mean, women, it's outrageous.
Well, right, right. Now, those are just the ones that are diagnosed. Those are the ones that actually seek the help, get the diagnosis, and actually stay on the medicine.
Hmm.
Now, here's a little food for thought. With the rise of social media and this totally fucked dating scene that we have going on now,
Hmm.
the reason why a lot of these, I don't want to get hate in the comments for, but a lot of women get fucked up or stay fucked up or toxic or whatever is because after the breakup, right, and we all get hurt, whatever. Going back to the idea of that only 10 or 20% of men attract the majority of the women.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't have that option of having that whole phase where after the breakup, getting all the attention back from the women or whatever. They're forced to sit there and either let the pain cripple them or improve. Whereas girls or women, right,
Yeah.
go in, they break up. What happens? Flood in the DMs. You're single
Oh
now?
yeah.
You're single now? You're single now? They have that option. If they want to, as soon as the breakup ends, they can have a new dick every night. Which
A lot of women have a lot of male orbiters around them at all times, and they usually have a guy that I call like their plan B guy. Like he's on the back burner. She's got him
yep,
in mind. Like, okay, if this ever goes south, I'm gonna hook up with Larry. And women are usually in a new relationship within like a week or two of a breakup, and that's like statistically proven.
well, maybe
And
not
it's
even a new
because they have
relationship at that, but they're
yeah.
definitely having their fun on the streets or whatever.
Hmm.
But what that does is it basically blocks all like whatever trauma, bullshit, whatever in the relationship because you were distracting yourself with dick or shopping or bars, friends, whatever.
Hmm.
Nothing positive or elicits growth in your life. So when they do get into that new relationship, they just bring back all the old bullshit because they never dealt with it. Meanwhile, they're
Yeah.
hurting themselves by getting ran through so many times. And I don't know how people still don't understand that with physics and everything, still applies to
Hmm.
life. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Still applies with us and everything that we do. So you can't tell
Hmm.
me you can, same goes for guys, by the way. You can't tell me you can run through 50, 60, whatever amount of guys, girls, whatever, and tell me there's not repercussions. Not even physically of like children or STD, whatever, but even psychologically, having that many connections with people.
Yeah, they do. There are studies that show that women that have a high body count have a have a harder time pair bonding mentally.
Yep.
They can't pair bond, and I feel like it's probably it's less of an issue I think for guys because guys evolutionary wise, like our mating strategy has always been to spread our seed far and wide. So
So
uh,
so do you know why that is? It's because
why? Okay.
why it's a little bit different for guys, and people try to neglect the psychology and science behind it, but the proof is in the pudding. Is a woman can literally get connected to a guy and create that intimate connection with one time of sleeping with someone, whereas a guy has to sleep with the same girl multiple times to really form an intimate connection with her. It's very hard for guys to do that the first time around. Now, have a girl make those connections and connections and connections with so many other people, and it almost like a drug, it numbs. She doesn't do anything anymore. To the point where she's been with so many other guys that when she finally has that person that she wants to be with because she just likes him as a person, she can't. It is so hard for her to form that intimate connection with her, and she's going to be so dissatisfied, and she may not even know what's wrong. That's going to cause so many issues because she will never feel fully connected to the person that she's with.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem. The one thing though I will say about that is a lot of guys, especially in like the red pill community, get really focused on that body count number. And one thing I always say about that is not to worry about it so much, because you can ask a woman what her body count is, but one, it makes you, one thing though, it makes you look insecure.
Majority of the time, she's gonna.
Yeah. Most women won't be honest with you about it. So whatever number she gives you probably isn't accurate anyway. And also, a lot of women like to sort of justify the one night stands away and stuff like that. Like, oh, that didn't really count because it was a Friday the 13th, and it doesn't matter. There's all this mental gymnastics shit going on. But so the way I like to say is like, don't focus on the number so much. Just really focus on the person, their actions, and the red flags, because that will tell you everything you need to know.
Right. Because I know a lot of women will try to say is like, oh, the past in the past. Past doesn't matter. It doesn't define me. But here's the thing, right? The past is the past if you've changed and grown as a person. If I'm meeting you right now and you literally slept with 3 other dudes last month, technically, yes, time-wise, that is the past, but you were still a part of that lifestyle. So the past isn't really the past then, it's just the current. You haven't learned anything. You haven't grown. So that's something
I'm still in that mindset.
Picked up on. Right. No, exactly. Because I think from what I've seen, that is the number one reason like that they try to give. The past, it doesn't matter. Well, if you're still doing it, that's not the past.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want from me. But no, I think you're right. I think guys hyper focus on that. The only reason why they should is if it causes an issue inside the relationship. That's the only thing I see as being an issue.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the thing is too, like if you're out dating as a guy too, and you're not exclusive, like you sort of like, you should be spinning plates too. You should be seeing multiple women too. And it's just ignorant to think that they're not doing the same thing, and like guys get so upset by that. They meet a girl and they go on a couple dates and they're immediately like, okay, I'm monogamous with this one chick that I just went on 2 dates with. She's not feeling that way. And then they get butthurt by it. It's like, bro, like you should be doing the same, and
well, I mean, and it sucks though, because I was that guy. So it was like my last relationship, which by the way, since we've last talked, I'm single now. Yeah.
That sucks, man. But it's also a good thing. It could be a good thing.
It is what it is. We're rolling with it. But when we were just in that talking phase, I was fucking Captain Sable. I didn't know, what she was doing at the time. I knew she liked to party. I knew she was going to college, doing her thing. But she's very skimming the surface, not going into detail. Granted, we started talking. Wasn't my business. But it was the fact that she made the effort to be, you're the only guy I'm talking to. I like you so much. Let's keep going to maybe a relationship. But she was still, doing her thing on the side, if you know what I mean. Just whatever.
Yeah.
Which the only reason why I got pissed off is like, I wouldn't have cared if you were upfront with it. Right? If you just said, hey, let's just be fuck buddies, and if we like each other, we like each other. Because while we were in that talking stage, and she was getting to do her own thing. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, oh, she's going to be the only person, that I'm seeing, and vice versa. Cool, we're on the same page. So I was doing all the boyfriend shit. I was doing all the stuff that was extra. Yeah, I was stupid.
I got some books for you, brother.
We'll talk. No, we'll talk. Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the books that I know have anything to do with being stupid in that sense. Because I know the Rational Male, and I'm not gonna lie, I still have to read the 3% Man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's probably the best one, I think, when it comes to
Yeah,
the dating
I
scene.
knew you were already going there.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the author anymore, but the book is still solid,
Wait,
so I still recommend it.
really? What happened? If I can ask.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the interesting thing is, I reached out to him. I've been reaching out to him for like a year now to try to get him to come on the podcast, and I haven't heard anything back, which is like, okay. But like I've reached out to other guys, right? Like another guy I follow is Christopher Canwell. His book Atomic Attraction is life changing. That guy got back to me and said, I'm really busy right now. I can't do it. No problem, right?
Right.
And then like I reached out to Dr. Robert Glover, who's another mentor of mine. He came on the podcast. I reached out to Rollo Tomasi. He came on the podcast, but this guy just won't reply to anything. And so I had a bunch of guys, which is fine still, but what really drove the nails in the coffin was a bunch of friends of mine from the 3% Man group on Facebook went on one of his videos and commented on one of his videos saying, hey, Paul from the Come On Man podcast has been trying to get a hold of you. And like at least 30 guys went and commented on his one video, and he went through and deleted all of those comments. It's like, okay, I know he sees this stuff and he's actively just like giving everybody an FU,
Well, right. It'd be different if he was literally so busy that it got lost. But
yeah. So it's like I know you see it, and you're actively saying "fu." Like, so that's really what it comes down to.
That is extremely unprofessional. Like, I know I have a list of people I know I need to get back to and whatever. But if I see them like pinging me all the time, like, shit, sorry, been really busy. What's up? Whatever.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel like he owes me anything. He doesn't owe me shit, but just that kind of act. Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Or just ignored those comments. Then I've been like, oh, but maybe he's just not seeing it, but I know.
Right. I know. Oh, exactly. Because I know at least on my end, on a busy week in my socials, like 15,000 comments, maybe at least 100 or 2 DMs, emails up the ass. Like, I can't get back to everyone, and I lose track. Like, I need an assistant, and I'm not even all that yet. Like, but it is what it is. So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Shit.
Yeah. No, I could totally understand too. And even if he just said, "Hey, man, like I'm not interested, but thanks for reaching out," I would have been like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough."
No.
Just to ignore it and then just delete all those things. That's what it was just like, man, that's kind of a dick move.
No, 100%. So I think what we could probably do now, maybe open it up for like a little Q&A, because I see people asking questions in the comments, but we just keep ranting a little bit regardless.
Yeah.
So I see someone being like, any advice for a guy in the talking stage with a new person? Still do you. Do not be overly available, right? Do not be that I'll drop everything on a dime if you want me over, and then she cancels, reschedules, whatever. If she reschedules on you, be like, all right, I'll let you know when I'm free. Right.
I'd like to add, don't have an expectation of outcome. That kills men. That kills men.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And take your time. Holy crap. Just take your time. Too many guys like try to rush into it and try to rush into the relationship or whatever. And if you're lonely, I get it, right? If you're that hopeless romantic, totally understand. But that can either scare her off, or she may not be ready for it. You don't really know what you're getting into. So I hate dating right now. I hate dating right now.
One thing that I recommend, you know, guy we were just talking about, Corey Wayne recommends it. Rich Cooper recommends it. Is that men shouldn't be so active in pushing for a relationship, like a monogamous relationship, you know. And I agree with that, because I used to be that guy. I used to be like, you go on one date, you okay, great, this worked out great. Go on a second date, okay, where's this going? You know, and
Mhm.
that scares the shit out of women. That comes across as needy as hell. And what I learned was to wait until they bring it up. Otherwise, just keep bringing the phone, hang out, have fun, hook up, and then when she is ready for it, she'll bring it up. And
Yeah,
then it's like, okay, if that's what you want, then fine, you know. But
right, right. And I don't know, put because I guys really aren't allowed to brag about their game in bed or whatever, but it's like if you have game in bed, girls don't like to share a good deed. They do not like to share that. You know what I'm saying though? Like
yeah. Oh
so,
yeah.
I remember.
I just interviewed Eric Everhard, porn star, like this morning,
Uh,
and because I just read his book, Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers.
okay,
That's one of the things that he talks about in the book, is like, if you are just the man in the sack, like, women will like overlook all sorts of problems you have.
and they won't go away either. Like
Right?
you'll get single and you'll get a text from a chick from like 4 years ago, and you're like, I forgot you existed.
Yeah.
But I remember because I had the first girl I had hooked up with after my breakup or whatever. She literally like rolled over, looked at me, and said, "So you want to be my boyfriend?" And I'm like, "Woman, I have known you for all of like 5 hours." I'm
Mhm.
like, "Hold on,"
Yeah.
and then she
Let's
started
slow
like,
down a little bit.
"What?" Dude, and then she started ripping on me for the people I was friends with on Facebook. It's like, slow your roll, calm down, like take your time. It's okay.
Yeah.
But holy
Women
crap,
can
dude.
be women can be needy as hell too. I think men just let them get away with it more.
Because especially if a guy doesn't get a lot of attention and he finds like one girl that's like all inclusive all over him, like he'll just take it, not
Yeah.
realizing that she will take your time. You won't be able to do much. She'll be all over you. And it's like that literally happened to my buddy Mitch. He went out with
Mhm.
this girl. She was just taking all of his time. If he went out with the boys, she had to be there. At work, she was just sitting there. And it
Yeah.
was just so much. And the moment he broke up, she had her friends checking in on him.
Oh, that's crazy. That's like red flag city.
Well, the problem was the moment like they had their date and they hooked up, whatever, they started spending every night together. It was just
Yeah.
so much attention, so much time. And I think in relationships, two people don't realize you need that time apart. You need,
Yeah.
that separate time. I used to tell any girl I dated, call out your friends. Go. Have your girls' night. Don't be stupid, but have your fun. I should be able to go and have my
Yeah.
fun. I don't go out to the bars, but go see my buddies, talk, whatever, because that will help your headspace. What is it? Time. It's not distance. Distance creates fondness. But what's the saying?
I always say attraction grows in space,
Oh, same
but
concept. But regardless,
absence makes the heart grow fonder or something. Yeah.
yes, yes, that was the phrase I was looking for. Like, there's so many other benefits of like still living your own life.
Yeah. One thing
I
that
think that gets lost.
Dr. Robert Glover says, he's the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy and Dating Essentials for Men. He says a problem that men and women have when they get into a relationship is they do what's called fusion, right? Where they stop having the attributes that made them attractive to each other because they were separate, and they start sort of inheriting the attributes of the other person because they're spending so much time together, and then they start losing attraction for each other because they're spending so much time together, right? So you need that space, that time apart, so that you can keep that attraction going, that tension in the relationship, the good,
Right,
positive, emotional tension. Yeah.
right, right. And kind of going off of that influential stuff, right, where you're influencing each other to basically act the same, is
Hmm.
When you're starting to date someone new, or even if you've been in a relationship for a while, pay attention to who they're spending their time with, right?
Mm.
At work, what their friends are doing, whatever. Because most likely, birds of a feather flock together. Your five friends are basically the sum of you. You will, if all your friends are going out drinking, right? They're all doing whatever partying. What are you going to be influenced to do when you go out with your friends? And gentlemen, same goes for you. But you have to
Hmm.
start paying attention. So it's like, it's even down to like even the way they talk. Like you will literally pick up aneurysms or the way people talk just by hanging around them enough. So
Yes.
if I'm trying to think, when I first met my girl, she was a part of that party crowd, right? Downtown Chicago, hung out with the rappers and whatever. Every once in a while, her little ghetto came out, her little Chicago accent came out, where she literally sounded just like or whatever off, South Side of Chicago. You know,
Hmm.
I'm afraid to say too much because algorithm, internet stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I know where you're going
Um,
with this. Yeah.
right. But that's how she sounded. But over the course of the relationship, whatever, she slowly sounded a lot more articulate. She sounded a little more normal. She sounded like she could enunciate and phrase her words appropriately and not have all these slangs or whatever. And then the moment we broke up, I started picking up hints again, like all that stuff. So I'm like, yeah, who you been hanging around with? So what are you talking about? Like, I literally noticed the way you talk,
Yeah.
right? The way you enunciate, your articulation of things. Like there are so many things you can pick apart by people by simply just paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And having your eyes open and being aware of signs and red flags and stuff. A lot of guys get the love goggles on. They stop looking at that kind of stuff and they overlook everything. And then
Huh?
they wonder why what happens to them happens, and they're like, "F women," you know. It's like, no, man,
Oh,
like take some ownership. Yeah,
oh my gosh, I know. But I mean, you could even do a little self-reflecting on this as well, because it's like
sure.
you're sitting there, you're trying to grow in life, you feel stuck, whatever, and just sit there and just take a minute. What do you do with your friends? What is everyone else around you doing?
Hmm.
So it's like, um, if your friends drink a lot, right, and you've had a problem with drinking, why are you going to continue to hang out with your friends? And when you're trying to grow and improve your mental health or whatever, if you know the moment you hang out with your friends, you know you guys are going to go to the bar. You know you guys are going to have a house where you go. Someone's going to hold you or hand you a blunt. Why are you going to continue to hang around with things that are not benefiting you? Because again, that will affect your natural relationship as well if you cannot grow in that sense all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to fucking pay attention to, but people don't because things like that require you to do a little extra work. You don't want to have to be the bad guy, but hey, we can't hang out anymore. You want to be that person of like, no, I have to cut everyone off and focus on myself and grow in that sense. It calls you to do more.
Yeah. One thing
Holy
I
shit.
found too, not just people that aren't productive, right? Like if you want to be more of a productive person, you should hang out with more productive people. That aside, one thing that I found is that trying to focus on the positive, right? Because I'm a big like law of attraction guy. It's really important that I keep that positive mindset all the time. I started noticing the people around me that I used to hang out with that were always like focusing on like politics and like, oh, life sucks and all that stuff. Like I had to seriously start distancing myself from them. And just, I mean, like my parents, for instance, good Lord, my dad is like one of the most negative people you'll ever meet in your life. So but you can't completely cut out family, right? But you can limit your time with them. And
Okay, fair.
I've had to seriously limit my time with my family because they're dragging me down, and I don't, I'm going to go to the moon, brother. Look
Oh
at
yeah,
that. Someone gave you a crown.
I saw that. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like so, I even cut off a lot of people that I was talking to, and even a couple of my friends too, because I
Hmm.
realized they were taking up so much of my resources, as in time or money or whatever. And I'm like, I can't focus on anything else. Like that's all I
Yeah.
ended up doing. So now, my goal, especially for the new year, is just to get myself back on track. Because after everything happened, and then life literally, like I said, got flipped upside down.
Yeah.
So now it's like I'm not gonna try to play that single game, whatever. There's no fucking point. I have work to do, and that's where I
Mhm.
think where a lot of guys get that misconception is like, oh, I'm single now. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna have my fun, whatever. It's like sometimes you have to lay this stuff to rest. Handle your own business first.
Yeah. Level up a
Then
little bit.
exactly, exactly. I have way too much stuff going on with the Uncrowned Kings and everything I'm trying to do, on top of unpack and still put everything together in my apartment. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, you need to be able
I
to.
usually oh, go ahead.
Oh no, what I was just gonna say is like if you constantly are attracting like the same kind of person, improve yourself, increase your value so you can actually attract a higher value partner.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I would also venture to say too that if you can't get to a point where you enjoy your own company, you have zero business getting into another relationship. You know, like you need to like be able to enjoy what you're doing outside of people. I got to a point when I was doing the dating circuit. Like I was on the dating circuit like all of or half of 2019, all of 2020, part of 2021, just spinning plates. And you find like on the dating circuit too, a lot of guys get so pissed off at this, but you get like women that are flaky as hell. You know, things get canceled and stuff like that. I got to a point where if a chick like canceled last minute, I was just like, whatever, man, because like I had shit to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh,
Oh yeah,
this is actually nice. I can focus on whatever it is that I wanted to do. And it was almost like a day off from the dating circuit. It was great.
yeah,
So
oh yeah. And that's what sucks too is like because I've noticed it. It took me forever to finally figure this out and be able to actually implement it as well. But to stop chasing that one, right? To be able
yep.
to take a break, focus on you for a second. And I can't tell you actually how good it feels that if I'm talking to someone or I'm talking to a girl or whatever, and I don't pick up the vibes or something just doesn't feel off, I don't have any problems dropping her or
Yeah.
canceling whatever. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. She owes
Yeah.
me nothing. I owe her nothing. At the end of the day, we will continue to move on with our own lives, and
Yeah.
that
An
is
important I was going to say an important thing that guys should do too, because they do get that sniper mentality. They date one chick at a time, and when that doesn't work out, fuck, I got to start all over again. And it's like that's why dating sucks for so many guys. Whereas if they would implement plate theory, right, and date multiple women at once, experience that abundance with women, so that like if a woman flakes out on you, who gives a shit? I'm talking to three other chicks. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Like if once you get to that point, then like life becomes a lot easier. And a lot of guys just don't date that way. But it's a more efficient way to date.
right, right. Someone just that like, all right. So, what is your opinion on ghosting?
My opinion on ghosting is you shouldn't do it, especially like if you've met the person like in person, you've actually
Right.
gone on a date with them. I feel like you should be a good ender, and men should take the lead on that. You know,
Okay.
like you can't control women, but you can control yourself, right? So if you're taking the lead in all areas of relationship, that includes being a good ender and like telling someone like, hey, this isn't working out, but I wish you the best in your dating and stuff like that, then that's fine. The only time I would say that it's okay to ghost is if someone's just like if you haven't even met in person yet and you're just chatting
Right.
back and forth and like the person's just being really like I don't know, not giving you any investment and stuff like that, and you just are done wasting your time, you don't owe them anything. You haven't met them, that's fine.
Right. Right. Right.
But
So, I
I
mean,
would say if you've met them, you should communicate.
yeah. Yeah. Also, like a good example of this is so I was talking to this chick in Miami. We were going back and forth. These were going good. We were talking, but the only problem I had was she wanted me to talk to her all the time. It's like I work, I'm busy, I run a company, I'm a busy man. It's like, but I see you on your phone, and I'm like, just because I'm on my phone doesn't mean I'm texting other people.
Mm-hmm.
My majority of my company is through digital, so I have to
Yeah.
be on my phone. So I got to the point where I forgot to text her at some point, and then she just started blowing up my phone on
Mm.
3 different media platforms. And at that point, I was like, I don't even want to deal with this. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm walking away. I'm done. So
Yeah, I mean
girls don't
that's
get
some
it.
psycho behavior right there, I think.
No, well, no, right. Here's something that a lot of people don't understand though too. Is like, yes, you want a man to be a provider. You want him to be able to handle his shit, right? You ain't gonna complain when he takes you on those vacations or trips, or you get a nice Louis Vuitton purse for Christmas, all that shit. But yet you complain that he works so much. Well, hun, you can't have his time and all the money as well. You need to be able to
Hmm.
find that good balance. Like you're working enough and being with her enough to where it is comfortable, right? With a certain level of communication. So that's the way I've found to really address this is like schedule days off together, right?
Yeah.
So work your ass off while you're at work. But I think what I did in my last relationship was we had Mondays and Wednesdays off every week. So it didn't matter how much I was working every other day. We knew for a fact every Monday and Wednesday we had some sort of time together.
Yeah.
So you got to find that balance, but people don't communicate anymore.
I would say I would also add to that. So you need to make time to date your woman, right? Even if you're a busy guy, you need to make that
Yep.
time. And when you're with her, you need to be present with her.
Yes.
Because a lot of
Yes.
guys, especially busy guys, yeah, a lot of guys like busy guys, like even me. That's one thing I struggle with, and my girlfriend, bless her heart, I think understands it. But there's times where I'm with her and I have to like really be focused on, or I guess aware of the fact that my mind is wandering off on other things, and I gotta like reel it back in and be like, no, I'm with her right now, and I've really got to focus on that. And a lot of guys I think struggle with that.
So it's gotta go the opposite way. What I've noticed on like the women's stance, because I suffer the same thing, right? Because my mind is constantly running. Oh, my TikTok, my emails, stuff for my website, whatever. We feel like social media a lot. Checking those likes, who Snapchatted them, what's on Facebook. So they have that constant urge of like, oh, someone Snapchatted me, let me get this real quick. And then you're
Yep.
just sitting there at the dinner table and you're just like, glad I'm having dinner with your phone. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's not fun to be on the other end of that. So it's like I feel like both people need to be aware of that and be present in the moment. I do think that women are naturally a little bit better at that though. Most of the like a majority of women are. There's some women that are just trash at that, but
right,
um,
right.
most guys absolutely suck at that.
We're like squirrels sometimes, right?
Hmm.
So, but again, all the things that we've talked about so far, the main like common trend, communication, right? Being able to communicate effectively and understand both sides and be respectful about it. And if you guys can't reach a common ground, you guys don't have to be together if it's that big of a deal. But you need to be able to communicate everything. That's so.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
What?
like kind of like the overarching ending of things. So it's like, gentlemen, don't be afraid to stand your ground, right? Don't be afraid to put your foot down with things, right? If your woman is doing something that is making you uncomfortable, that you don't think is cool, granted, you have to think about where those emotions are coming from. Is it coming from a place of insecurity, jealousy, where you are going to be, it was like on a line, might be like, yo, hey, this ain't cool. So it's like she wants to go with her friends, and she's only going to be hanging with girls you know the place to go, and she's communicating with you. Why are you going to cop an attitude with her, or be salty the whole time she's doing it? That ain't cool. Or if you're trying to communicate, like, hey, whatever, hold her time. No. But if something's genuinely bothering you, she has DMing dude on Instagram, whatever, and you communicate that, and she reciprocates, you guys will solve problems a lot faster.
Yeah, 100%. I
If
would
you guys
also,
talk,
I, I would also venture to say too, like, and a lot of guys don't like hearing this, but men need to take that kind of that lead in the relationship and be an active participant and sort of lead the conversations a lot too. A lot of guys just let relationships happen to them, and that's just no way to be.
Right, right. And I see this might be actually a really good closing thought is you have to be able to understand, your partner where they're coming from. They could be coming from trauma. Yes, I totally agree. Right, you have to understand why your partner might be angry or snippy or why they might react a certain way. Um, that's good, right? Understanding each other like that. There's only one issue with that. Do not let their trauma inflict damage or take away from your life. Yes, you want to be able to help them. You want to be able to be there for them and help them work through whatever. But if the things that they are going through, which is their fight, it is not your fight. You can be there and be that shoulder to cry out, but that is not your problem. You cannot solve it. That is something they have to solve. So if that is coming to a place where it is doing damage, physically, heaven forbid, or mental abuse, or whatever, I don't care what the fuck they're going through. That ain't your problem. You don't deserve that. And it goes either way. Right? I've seen toxic men that do that shit because they haven't dealt with their stuff. I've been through toxic relationships because they haven't dealt with their stuff. That is not your problem. So I feel like that's kind of like, I feel like a really good closing thought.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's not your job to fix them, and if it's really that bad, they should really do the work themselves, and like you shouldn't let that impact you, I guess. You should also spot people with trauma like right on, and probably not get into long-term relationships with them. But that's another podcast episode.
I was just about to say, but I mean, some people are fixers. Like some people like literally just see that trauma red flag and like, oh, come here, I'm gonna fix you.
Captain Save-A-Ho. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's a bad way to be, man.
I know. But we're over here like, no, stay away. But there's some people that literally have that personality trait, like they just attract all of it. Like, come here, I'm gonna save you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I said, that is a topic for even 2 podcasts like that. There's so much to go into trauma and abuse and how to avoid it, how to get out of it, all that. But my brother, hey, I really appreciate you coming out here today. I know we've been trying to get on for a minute now, but life's been crazy as shit, especially with the holidays and everything. Why don't you let people know where they can find you, kind of what everything that you're doing? We'll kind of go from there.
Yes. So you guys can follow me on TikTok, Come On Man Pod. Follow me on Instagram at Come On Man Podcast. I have a YouTube channel. It's YouTube/Come On Man Podcast, and Come On Man Podcast on all audio platforms.
Beautiful. All right, man. We're definitely going to have to talk more, get together, because I know you're still doing your thing with the what's the other YouTube channel? The something
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. Yeah. It was fun being on there with you guys. We had a good talk.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime for that too.
Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely keep in touch now that my life's starting to finally get together. But I appreciate you. Hope you had a great holidays, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And you guys take care, okay?
Peace out.